Hello there, my name is Michael Armis, and this is my presentation on psychological factors for KIN 552. Today I'm going to be talking about high school students that are dealing with anxiety, burnout, and depression. So for the purpose of this presentation, I'm going to be talking about anxiety, but I'm going to be talking about state anxiety. What is state anxiety? According to Anschel in 2014, state anxiety is an emotional state in which a person perceives a situation to be threatening and can lead to tension, worries, and physiological changes. So what can bring about anxiety in high school students? Homework, tests, perhaps going to go confront somebody about a problem that is going on. Maybe they're an athlete and they play in sports and there's a situation that happens on the team. So, what kind of symptoms can be brought about in anxiety? You're talking about panic, maybe fear, some physiological changes such as shortness of breath, heart palpitations, maybe even sleep problems. So, what are some coping strategies to deal with anxiety? I'm going to talk about two of them. One strategy is nature based imagery, and the other one is mental contrasting of negative future results with positive results. So, in the first strategy in tackling anxiety, we can use nature based imagery. So, what is nature based imagery? According to G. Burnett, Hayes, McLeod, and Holmes, nature based imagery basically invokes visual, auditory, hepatic, taste, smell experiences, triggering behavioral and physiological responses. So, essentially, you're creating a picture, and the person is closing their eyes and they're recalling and feeling all of these sensations that are going on. So some of the themes that you can use in nature-based imagery, you can use water features. So you would have your client, basically you would be telling them to look out to the ocean. Or if you want to talk about mountain features, you would talk about the rolling mountains, snow-covered mountains, and last but not least, trees and forests. So you would kind of paint a picture for them of themselves walking along a path of redwood trees, if you will. According to Nigan and Breimer, both nature and urban imagery reduces state anxiety. So, an example of this is that this doesn't have to be applied outdoors. You can do this with a person inside their home. If they wanted to practice this at home, they can do this outside. Basically, this type of strategy can be performed anywhere. It doesn't have to be just in one place. So that is a positive to using nature-based imagery. The next strategy we're going to talk about in coping with anxiety is using mental contrasting of negative future results with positive results. So, what exactly is this? Um, you're dealing with a high school student who has anxiety about maybe taking a test or a big assignment that's due coming up, and what they're basically going to be doing is elaborating on the desired future or outcome and reflect on a present reality that stands in the way. So we said an example of this would be maybe there's a big exam coming up and the student wants to do well on the exam. At the same time, he just got invited to go hang out with his friends and that's what stands in the way. So by using this mental contrasting, according to Broderson and Otagan in 2017, mental contrasting helps reduce anxiety regarding a negative future. So, what this high school student would be doing is focusing on the exam and saying, hey, you know what? I cannot go hang out with friends today. And you're using a negative future, which would be going to go hang out with the friends and saying, hey, no, we're not going to do that. I'm going to stay home, I'm going to study because I want to pass the test, and that is the biggest objective for me right now in high school. Our next topic we're going to be discussing is burnout, burnout amongst high school students. What is burnout? According to Anshul, burnout is when an individual feels that he or she is drained of physical and emotional energy, leading to decreased motivation and excessive fatigue. So, an example of this is the high school student athlete who maybe plays one sport year round. For example, a soccer player that goes from playing club to his high school season, is on the team, and as soon as that high school season is over, he goes right back to club, and he does this semester after semester, maybe all 4 years he even does this. So, according to Reddick and Smith in 2004, burnout leads to decreased performance and eventual withdrawal in sports participation. One of the things I kind of wanted to talk about when discussing burnout is just the role that maybe some high school student athletes feel when it comes to having to continuously play sport after sport or season after season because of parents' expectations, maybe of family expectations in the family. Somebody's family has a great line of baseball players, for example, and somebody, the student in particular, is not a great baseball player, and they have to constantly live up to expectations where they're playing a sport season after season, and maybe their coach is even the one that's kind of possibly bringing them down in this situation. So one of the things, a coping mechanisms that we can use in burnout is seeking social support. So, according to Reddick and Smith in 2004, um, individuals who perceive strong coping methods and high social support find their sport to be less threatening and thereby less stressful. So, a student athlete in this case can have less stress if they seek more social support. Social support can be from anyone from coaches to parents, um, family, and friends, right? And some of the things that they will be getting out of this is emotional, informational, and tangible support from these people. I think one of the most important things that student athletes crave is just that approval from mom and dad. Are they playing well? Right? Those are supposed to be their biggest fans and biggest supports, and sometimes I think that is the biggest factor that plays into their head while they're performing and just kind of living up to those expectations while in season. Another method in coping with burnout is relaxation. So, what kind of relaxation are we talking about? Practicing relaxation by lying quietly, voluntarily relaxing and tensing muscles, and taking slow and deep breaths. And what the goal here is to prevent unwanted muscle tension. So, relaxation essentially focuses on cognitive appraisal and physiological response levels. So, this is something very easy and practical that anyone can practice. Again, this doesn't have to be something that's performed in a specific location. This is something that you can do at home. Anybody can practice this type of relaxation. And it's perfect for maybe the athlete that is getting ready for competition and they're extremely they're up, they're ready to go, they're kind of just wanting to get after it already, but they kind of just want to bring it down a little bit. Relaxation in this exact moment would be great for an individual that's ready to exercise. The last topic of interest I want to address in high school students is depression. What is depression? According to Anshul, depression is a mood disorder that has an influence on mood regulation, includes feelings of sadness, guilt, or worthlessness, leads to lack of energy, and loss of interest in activities. So, a high school student athlete, perhaps, that is depressed and really doesn't have an interest in sports anymore or performing well in the classroom anymore, depression could be a serious thing that is affecting high school students. in dealing with depression, according to Wheatley in 2011, intrusive memories play a role in maintaining depression. So we're talking about bad images or bad memories of something that happened in the past, maybe a traumatizing incident, something that completely changed somebody's life, perhaps a really sad moment. Um, so, one of the techniques that I want to use with these high school students is imagery rescripting. According to Wheatley, imagery rescripting reduces distress associated with past memories, and it colors the individual's experience of the present. So, what is imagery rescripting? So basically, what you would do is you would have a student. They could be in a closed room or in an environment, that's quiet, and they would close their eyes. And what they would do is visually and verbally replay the scene using the present tense. So they would go over that bad memory that they have that's kind of negatively associated that they're having trouble getting over with, and in doing this, you're also going to ask them to taste, smell, hear, feel in their body all the sensations that were going on in that exact moment of that bad situation. They're going to be recalling which self they were in. Was this when they were younger, when they were really a child, or is this something that happened recently in their teenage years? Um, you're also going to ask them to recall some of the emotions and sensations that we're feeling in that exact moment. And afterwards, you were going to be Socratically questioning them to relive that memory. After that, the person is going to be asked what needs to be changed in that memory to reduce the stress. And so this can be used to treat memories of distressing events from past occurrences and things like that. So you're basically rebuilding that memory, and in doing so, afterwards the client is going to be feeling positive because they were able to address that negative situation and fill it with positivity and what they got out of it. One of the last strategies in dealing with depression is using music as therapy for a high school student. So, according to Hendricks in 1999, musical is capable of promoting a relaxed mood, decreasing stress, and is a positive stimulus for change in mood. So, listening to music can actually help get us in a better mood. Everybody loves music, especially young adults, high school students. All they're doing is constantly listening to music. You see them on their headphones all the time. They're playing music on their phones. So music would be a great way to help a student with depression. And music doesn't have to be performed in one place. You can take music with you everywhere, and it's easily, readily available for you at any time, any place. Um, According to Anschel in 2014, music can increase a person's arousal level, somatic and cognitive arousal levels. So, when listening to music, some of the strategies that one would want to incorporate when dealing with a high school student is playing music that they're familiar with and that the music is energetic as well. Um, One of the things that we also want to try and incorporate is really helping them relax their muscles using their eyes to open specifically designed music. So we want them to be completely relaxed while they're doing this, and their eyes are open, so there's nothing going on. They're just in that moment, and then using specific music to help the individual create a structured plan to improve the mood, and really using music. You can use music that is paired to a positive memory. So, a positive memory in which something really good happened, or a great experience, a trip with friends, or a time that they were really successful in a game and they scored the game-winning goal, or they had that one big tackle that saved the game right before that final blow of the whistle. In summary, High school students suffering from anxiety can use nature-based imagery or mental contrasting of negative future results with positive results in dealing with their anxiety from various situations such as schoolwork and team-related functions, performance, etc. Um, High school students who are suffering from burnout can also use social support in relaxation. They're tired in their season that they've been tired from just competing and competing and maybe not performing as well as they want to, and they're starting to get burned out. We can use that social support from parents and coaches and friends to get them back in there. We can use those relaxation techniques to just kind of bring them back down and let them know that everything's okay and they're get in that mood that they're just relaxed and ready to go. And in dealing with depression, high school students can use imagery rescripting or music to help deal with their depression and help alter their mood state and get them feeling better and ready to get back out there and exercise. My name is Michael Armis. This has been my presentation on psychological factors. It's been a great semester. Thank you for everything. Have a Merry Christmas.